Okay, so right before lockdown, I think 2019 के end में, I got my first break in a Bollywood movie. The movie was called Bypass Road, and I had 2 songs in that movie as a composer. And I'm like, अभी थोड़ा किस्मत खुला है, अभी जाके struggle period खत्म होगा. Now others will start approaching me and like I'll get more movies and everything, and bam, lockdown.
Hey guys, I'm Mihir Joshi. Welcome to another episode of the MJ Show. As I always say, आपने thumbnail तो देख लिया, तो you know who my guest is today. But I've been wanting to talk to him for a very long time. काफ़ी समय से मैंने मेरे guest के videos देखे हैं Instagram पे, YouTube पे, and I love the work that he does. I know you guys love it too because you've given him tons of views. He's got over 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube. He's got a ton of followers on Instagram. And if you're not following on Instagram, make sure you do that immediately because he is one of the most talented, one of the funniest guys, and funny in a specific way. And you'll see that in the conversation that I have seen on social media. He's a musician, he's a producer, he's a composer. He's a phenomenal artist, and I'm extremely happy to have him today on the MJ Show. Help me welcome on the MJ Show the very talented Mayur Jumani. Mayur,
Hi.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much for that amazing intro.
हाँ भाई, I meant every word. I'm telling you, we've been communicating, I think, on Instagram for quite a long time. और तुमने देखा है कि जब भी तुम videos डालते हो, I immediately see it, I comment on it, I like it. I love the stuff that you've been doing, from the very last video that you put up to I think one of the first videos that kind of got on my radar was when you did that Arnab Goswami thing. उसको देख के तो हजारों लोग, लाखों लोग खुश हुए थे. They had followed you. But you know, before we get into what's happening right now, as I do when somebody comes on my show for the first time, मैं हमेशा इस segment को origin story कहता हूँ. तो I want to know मयूर जुमानी जो अभी सबको मालूम है, जो artist है, how was this artist created? How does your story begin?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, the Arnab thing, what you said, was the start of my social media virality and all that journey.
Yeah.
But as an artist, the journey began quite early. I think I was 4 or 5 years old when I started playing the keyboard, piano. But it was always my hobby. तो मुझे ऐसे नहीं था कि मुझे musician बनना है.
Correct.
I think until I was 22, 23, I never thought कि music can be my career. Profession. And just like, you know, the normal middle class Indian family say, born and brought up, you have to do engineering. So I went into an engineering college. I think 3rd year of engineering, we had a band. Engineering में जैसे होता ही हमेशा, like if you're into music, then you want to form a band and everything. And we used to play here and there थोड़ा बहुत, and that's where I kind of got into music production also.
Okay.
So I could play a few instruments पहले से ही.
By the way, engineering कहाँ पे किया?
I did it in Bandra, TSEC.
Are you kidding me? यार, this is insane. I was 3 kilometers away from you. I am electronics engineer, passed out in 2003, and like you, I always joke about this and I say कि यार 4 साल engineering में पढ़ाई करके I learned how to become a good performer because I was in Father Agnell's.
Oh, okay.
So Father Agnell's में we would पूरा बाकी का, it was a very strict college. Even TSEC was relatively strict. But during our festival we used to go all out. So 2 साल हमने Andrews Auditorium में perform किया and 2 साल मैंने षण्मुखानंद हॉल में perform किया. So my first 4 performances of my life were in front of like almost 400-500 people. And at 2 of the best auditoriums in our city. So यार, I'm happy to see there's this little connect between us engineering guys. Engineering खत्म किया, finish किया. मैंने भी किया, ठीक है. और उसके बाद
ऐसे जिगरा नहीं था कि सीधा I'll leave and drop out करके I'll start music and all. In fact, even after engineering, 2 years I was working.
Okay, कहाँ पे?
So I was working at this company called Direct Eye.
Okay.
Media.net.
Okay.
So, and I didn't work as an engineer. I worked as a UI designer. Okay. Because engineering में ये भी हो गया था ना कि I was more into the creative side of things.
Right.
So I used to actually for my festivals only because I used to be पढ़ाई छोड़ के सब कुछ करते थे. So festivals में I used to do the creatives and everything. You know, those flyers, posters and everything. That's where I learned Photoshop also.
Lovely.
And then I got into UI design also. At that point of time, I thought that can be my calling. Of course, it wasn't. But for 2 years, I was doing UI UX design over there.
Nice.
And after 2nd year of job में, I realized कि you know, in 9 to 6 वाला scene is not for me.
Correct.
I want to get into, I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing, and what better to do it in music because that's.
किस साल में था? Which year was this?
This was.
When did you graduate?
So graduate was 2013.
2013.
And 2015 में, I decided, you know what, I think I should at least try to make music my career. Actually 2013-14 में I started doing a lot.
Dabbling.
I started making my own songs. I started DJing here and there. I think, you know, the Little Door, that was the first place
Of course.
I actually went, and like it was kind of like a live performance DJ set where I was DJing but also with the guitar.
Here's another intersection of our journeys. मेरा जो band था, we have performed at the Little Door when they had just begun. So like full-fledged proper 5-piece band जो मेरा था, हमने वहाँ पे एक proper performance किया था. It's such a, for those of you who don't know, it's such a beautiful little place in Andheri. बढ़िया place है, बहुत सारे bands ने, बहुत सारे artists ने perform किया है वहाँ पे, and it's nice to see another little intersection of our paths. But go ahead.
So yeah, that's how I started DJing. It wasn't technically DJing, like I just bring my guitar, bring my keyboard and do everything live on stage.
So looping as well?
Looping, looping, and also it's more like you've seen me play the launch pad, right?
Correct. अच्छा, by the way, I'm sure बहुत सारे लोग ये जानना चाहेंगे, what is that instrument, that electronic thing that you, is it like Ableton, something like that?
Yeah, so when I started, it was a company called Novation that made that thing. It was called Launchpad, and now I'm using the Ableton's own version of that, which is a push 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
so and just so एकदम brief में अगर समझाना हो, what exactly happens? Are you programming different sounds on each of the
that's
buttons?
right.
That's right.
So basically, it's made for drums. Like you can play drums and everything. Also, you can trigger things, trigger loops here and there.
Correct.
And it's mainly software based. So उसमें inbuilt कुछ sounds नहीं है. It's connected via MIDI to my laptop, and laptop is where I like in the software I make the sounds, tweak it, so I can literally just record my voice and then trigger it with one button over there.
Got it.
So that's how.
Like अभी मैंने recently तुम्हारा एक video देखा Instagram पे where you were playing it like a multi-fingered instrument. It wasn't just like you've seen people like the Instagram DJs का आपने देखा होगा where they'll just 8 button का भी छोटा वाला भी वो pad मिलता है, so they're just like triggering drums with it. But with you, it felt like you're playing a complicated instrument. How do you remember कि अभी I think that is a 8x8 कितने
it's 8x8, yeah.
8x8 है. देखो मैं ध्यान दे रहा हूँ सब कुछ जो कर रहा है. So you've got 64 keys. How do you remember what you programmed on each of them?
The reason I remember is because I program it. And
so like there's a logic to it.
Yeah. So I have this certain finger movement pattern. Like when I'm playing drums, the kick needs to be the thumb, which is over here. So that's why I always put the kick over there so that I can kind of play those.
That's brilliant, man. By the way, अगर आप सोच रहे हो मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ, please follow him on Instagram, like I told you. His Instagram handle, let's put it up on the screen right now. It's his Instagram handle, Mayur Jumani, simple रखा है उसने. Please follow him and watch these videos carefully. Like of course there's this entertainment factor out of it, but बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो आप सीख सकते हो और जो सवाल आते हैं ना पूछो, मयूर नहीं आंसर करेगा तो कोई और कमेंट्स में आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा. And maybe you learn something interesting and maybe you want to try that out as well. Because it's a very interesting thing that, I mean, even for somebody who's making electronic music, how important is knowledge of music? What I mean by that is actual musical instruments, whether it's a keyboard, whether it's a guitar or whatever.
It's very important, and trust me, it's like now people have started to realize that. But pehle especially they were like, it was a different section. Like one was that DJing electronic music section, like people who were producers and DJs.
Correct.
And separate was a music composer, music director section.
Correct.
And now I think they are merging properly together.
Nice.
And I'm glad that I was there from the beginning. Like I wanted to do that from the beginning. And people have started realizing that, of course, electronic music is also merging with pop music right now.
Correct.
Like there's no trance or this genre separately now. सब कुछ अभी साथ में आ रहा है.
आजकल यार बॉलीवुड गानों को भी अगर देखो, there's so many different genres that
that are mixing up.
Like what was the recent track that I saw? Kesaria, for instance, or if you look at Besharam Rang, all of these songs, there are so many different musical influences that are there in one song. There's everything from like Besharam Rang ही है ना गाने का नाम, मैं भूल जाता नहीं. हाँ, of course Besharam Rang है. It's got salsa parts in it. It's got these electronic.
I'm so glad you brought that up because in 2020 I was working with Vishal Dadlani and I got a chance to work on this song itself.
अरे क्या बात कर रहे हैं.
Partially, like I've done a lot of things for this song also.
Rock and roll, man. I freaking love that song. And I love the fact that एक genre से दूसरे genre में इतना seamlessly flow होता है कि जब आप सुनते हो तो ऐसा नहीं लगता यार, oh, I went into a Spanish kind of a feel right now. Oh, this part is like a dance techno thing or like whatever trance thing, whatever is happening. It just feels like all elements of the song fit in beautifully.
And plus it's such a great, when I saw the video finally, it was shot in Spain and everything, and it's such a great this thing because that was my influence and I've been there. So Berkeley, once I decided I'm going to quit this job, I applied to Berkeley. I got in, and I got into the master's course, which happens in Spain. It's not in the US.
It's not the US Berkeley, huh?
So initially I was like, I want to go to US because there's the Berkeley Indian Ensemble and everything. But then once I went to Spain, I realized how amazing this place is.
Beautiful.
And the music, like it's not just what I'm learning over there, but the vibe of that place kind of gives you that
lovely.
that creative flow that you want.
That's amazing, man. Okay, so after these segues, let's get back to your story. तो तुम कह रहे थे कि 2 साल तुमने उस कंपनी में काम किया. Now we found out already कि वो 2 साल होने के बाद you wanted to study music properly, so you went to Berkeley.
Right.
And
so till then I was just a self-taught musician. YouTube से जो भी सीखा है वो ही हुआ था. And then I didn't think कि Berkeley में मिल जाएगा मुझे. मैंने ऐसे ही apply कर दिया था. But to my surprise, I got in. And I think the complete change shift happened over there. Like that was one of the main moments where I quit my job. I decided that music is going to be my future. So that whole year in Berkeley, I learned a lot of things. The kind of studios over there. Like Berkeley has the biggest studio in Europe.
Wow.
And just
state of the art stuff.
State of the art stuff. It was so well made, the whole thing. And plus, like, you know, यहाँ पे when you learn music production, because I was teaching also for a while, I know कि यहाँ पे it's like you have these small courses. You have like small faculty and everything, where you don't have a lot of equipment to learn from.
Correct.
And for me, it was such a big deal to just go over there, learn at the best studio ever, how to connect those patchways and everything. You know, like the whole console was such a big deal over there back then.
Lovely, lovely. So that happened. Then what? Did you spend time over there in Spain?
So,
or did you want to come back?
After Spain, I actually, of course, I wanted to come back to India only. That was the ultimate goal. But I did an internship in LA for another year or so, and that was in this company called Line 6.
Okay. Of course, the
guitar amps and everything. So I was in their head office. I was actually working as a product developer.
That's amazing.
So because I had that UI design thing also in the background, so I was into the product development team.
That's crazy.
And we were working on new products that were coming out.
For those of you who don't know, thoda Google kar lo Line 6. If you're a guitar player, you 100% know what Line 6 is. Their processors, their amps. It's like super popular.
How many? It's a part of Yamaha now. So
it is?
Yamaha owns Line 6. So even the guitars and everything, like it's one.
How many of you knew that about Mayur? Comments mein batao hame if you knew that Mayur was actually working with Line 6 at any point.
I don't think I've ever spoken about that before in an interview. Yeah, that's the
fabulous.
first time I was talking about the internship.
Lovely.
And so 6 months, 8 months I was there.
Okay.
And again, like I was coming back to the same 9 to 6 job and everything, and I wanted to make music. That was my main thing. So I realized that I'm not getting that time and everything. Plus, ultimately, I want to come back to India and make music. Like Bollywood is such a big inspiration for me.
Right.
Not just Bollywood, the indie scene back then in the 90s.
It's beautiful.
Like when Shan came up and all that. Like that was the biggest influence for me.
Correct.
And I wanted to continue on that journey. So that's why I decided to leave that, come back to India. And so after I came back to India, this was in 2017. I thought the industry will welcome me with open arms. You know, Berkeley ka degree mil gaya hai and like LA se aaya banda. But of course that didn't happen. First 3 years were a big struggle for me.
I can imagine. You know, this is such a common story that we've heard from so many of our friends in the industry, right? They go, maybe they study abroad, they do something music में. So इतना आसान नहीं होता है. आप समझ लीजिए कि जो भी आपके फेवरेट आर्टिस्ट है, जिनको आप सोचते हो कि कितने सक्सेसफुल है, कितने शानदार उनके करियर्स है, अब सबकी कहीं ना कहीं पे एक वो स्ट्रगल स्टोरी रहती है कि यार सोच रहे होते कि यार ये करना है या नहीं, शुड वी कंटिन्यू विद दिस. आई एम श्योर देयर मस्ट हैव बीन डेज वेयर यू थॉट लाइक मैन व्हाट एम आई डूइंग, लाइक how am I going to make this work? So 3 years of...
The biggest thing was that, like, if you see my age also, like engineering के बाद 2 साल किया, उसके बाद I even decided to do music. And then to do all that struggle when I left a good job and I've left a lot of these things.
It's a difficult thing.
It's difficult. It's also like, of course दिमाग में वो आता है कि should I continue on this path, should I not?
Correct. And family का भी थोड़ा सा कहीं ना कहीं से तो वो pressure आने लगता है कि भाई तुम अभी करीबन you're reaching 30 now, because I am doing the math, 4 years of engineering plus 2 years of working plus 2 years of Berkeley, and
so I'm 30 now.
You're 30 now, so you were close to 30, like around that time. You must have been 26,
27,
26, 27, exactly.
So that's when it was like should I even try to be an artist anymore? Or should I be the background guy who's doing stuff?
Correct.
So when I say struggle, of course starting with of course 6 months तो कुछ भी नहीं था. उसके बाद I started getting one by one. But I wouldn't say वो वाला struggle कि you know CD लेके मैं खड़ा हूँ T series के नीचे and all that.
Of course.
For me, it was a smart struggle, and that's because of all the influence that I have. My dad, the way he's brought me up. My sister gave me this thing. Before even going to Berkeley, she told me, I want you to make a list of 10 things, not one, but 10 different backup plans in case you don't become an artist.
Brilliant.
So I had all these backup plans, like simple things like, just building a studio, giving it to other people to record and all that.
Correct.
From that to just simple noise cancelling and all also. Like now also when we are recording this, there's noise and someone is sitting over there who cancels the noise. He still gets paid a little bit for that.
Correct.
Like that's actually something I've done.
Wow.
When I came back from Berkeley, like those kind of jobs were the first few jobs that I did.
Amazing.
From that I moved into some things, and it was all, so people again ask about how you got connected to the industry, because I had zero connections to the music industry or Bollywood industry or any kind of industry over here.
Right.
Because my whole family was science based. My dad is a doctor, sister is an engineer, and I became an engineer.
Yeah.
So for that, like, how do you get into that? And many people ask me. The main thing is just do a good job, do a good work, whatever you get, do a killer job so that person kind of gives a good testimonial for you to someone else.
Correct.
And that's what happened. Like I got introduced to this guy who does videography and all that, and he was doing videography for the NSG, National Security Guard.
Nice.
And they wanted a song
to
play in the background, and there was already NSG anthem that was made by Shankar Mahadevan and Gulzar Saab.
Wow.
And they said कि इसमें कुछ remix कर सकता है. I said not remix, I'm going to recreate the whole thing. I'm going to put my own composition, because I wanted to show off my own composition skills.
Correct.
And like, of course, I did it for pennies, but then that thing that I did opened the door to something else, and I started getting Bollywood trailers.
Wow.
So a lot of these movies like Pari, Fukre Returns, this was back in 2018, 2019.
Nice.
So Pari, Fukre Returns, Dabang 3, Baghi 3, all those movies ka trailers ka music, and even the mixing, mastering, everything was done by me.
Wow, okay.
So that's how, of course, like that's how I started behind the scenes and everything.
Lovely. These are things that even I'm discovering about you, man. Like I'm sure आप लोगों को भी शायद काफी कुछ इसमें से मालूम नहीं था. I would love for you to be involved in this conversation. मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि यार मैं मेरे guests को interview नहीं करता, मैं उनके साथ बातें करता हूँ, और मैं चाहूँगा कि आप सब जो हमें देख रहे हैं आप भी हमारे साथ बातें करो. You got an entire comment section to have a chat with us in, and मेरा ये वादा है अगर आप comment लिखोगे ना उसका जवाब आपको पक्का मिलेगा, either from me or from my guest.
I also love reading comments. Like I continuously keep on replying to people over there.
For sure. This is amazing. So you were doing trailers and all that. When did your own content begin? Like when did you realize, okay, I got to make a YouTube channel, start putting out my own things?
Okay, so YouTube channel actually began long back in 2012.
Oh
like
wow.
Even before, like that was when music was my hobby.
Thoda,
I just started putting covers or something or the other here and there. 2015 when I went to Berkeley, that was the first time I put a GoPro on my head. I did that launchpad thing, and I actually got my first. I wouldn't say. I mean, at that point of time, it was viral.
Yeah.
I got like 100K views on that.
Yeah, back in the
and
when YouTube was just starting off, you got 100K views. That was like freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Starting off here, right? मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि दुनिया में YouTube.
This is before Jio, so.
Correct. Yeah, 100K views, okay.
Yeah, so that's when I thought, like this launchpad thing.
Was that? Remind me.
So it was a remix of this song Blue Dabadi.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I kind of made my own twist. I was playing the keyboard while doing the launchpad. Like,
very cool.
That was something I did.
ये मैं भी अभी जाके देखूँगा.
Yeah, please go and watch it. It's back from 2015. That was one of the first videos that I did.
I'll make your life easier. Description देखोगे ना तो उसमें वो मैं link डाल दूँगा, तो आप just click करिए, but click it after you've finished watching this entire conversation. Go ahead. Yeah.
So after that, of course, the YouTube was always there. But I never took it very seriously. I mean, I was posting like once every 4 months, 5 months or something.
Right.
Because I wanted to focus more on the live scene and all that.
Correct.
The main time where social media started was, of course, the lockdown.
Yep.
So that's when. Okay, so right before lockdown, I think 2019 ke end mein, I got my first break in a Bollywood movie. The movie was called Bypass Road, and I had 2 songs in that movie as a composer. So that was a big deal, and it came out on T-Series and all that. And I'm like, abhi thoda kismat khula hai, abhi jaake struggle period khatam hoga. Now others will start approaching me, and like I'll get more movies and everything, and bam, lockdown. no movies, no nothing, everything stops.
You know what? I just realized something. ये जो मेरा नया season चल रहा है MJ show का, ये पहला सीजन है लॉकडाउन के बाद. इट ऑलमोस्ट फील्स लाइक जो अपने वर्ल्ड क्लॉक में यू से AD and BC जो कहते हैं ना, वैसे इज लाइक प्री लॉकडाउन वर्ल्ड एंड अ पोस्ट लॉकडाउन वर्ल्ड. एंड द वर्ल्ड changed for so many artists during the lockdown. जिन्होंने उस समय का फायदा उठाया, said that hey, I'm not gonna let this stop me. They changed their future, they changed their fortunes in the lockdown. और जिन्होंने कहा कि यार अभी क्या करें, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, they kind of followed. And so many fabulous artists, from the first guest, by the way, Neil Salekar, who was one of my first guests in this new season, he started his journey during the lockdown. Mayur kind of got this huge boost, like virality that happened during the lockdown, and a lot of other people as well. So the point that I'm trying to make here is don't let the most difficult situation in your life put you down. Figure out a way to work through that and look at the positives in it. So what was your positive? How did you look at it?
That is so well said. I mean, that's exactly what was going on in my head. Like, people are looking at this as as a disappointment. कि क्या होगा अभी life में कुछ है ही नहीं ये वो. And for me it was like, it's a transition phase. The first 2 months of lockdown, I was actually happy because I was getting that time for myself to build my own portfolio. Like that's when I thought ki portfolio is the thing. Right now I'm just doing things here and there. I'm getting this job, I'm doing that. I'm getting this job, I'm doing that. And I was teaching also. For 2 years I was teaching on the side.
Nice.
Music production. And I thought ki these next 2 months or 3 months, whatever the lockdown time goes, of course it was more than 3 months.
Wow.
Way more. But I thought next 2 months I'll just focus on building my portfolio, and that's when I turned to social media.
Nice.
I was just looking at it as a portfolio thing. I wasn't looking at it कि ये viral हो जाएगा and this is going to be my thing now, अभी social media. But the first proper funny thing that I put out was the Arnab Goswami
My lord, that
remix.
was hilarious. सब लोगों ने देखा है ना, सब लोगों ने देखा है, मालूम है तुम लोगों ने देखा है, पर जिन लोगों ने देखा नहीं है, like the few of you who are watching this episode who have not seen that video, that's another link that I'm going to give you in the description below. Okay, so check that out if you've not seen it. But that was humongous. Like everybody was talking.
And there were
about
multiple
it,
ones. Multiple Arnab Goswami remixes. The first one was a 15-second one.
Okay.
So this was you remember when China ka ban ho raha tha?
Yeah.
And he was like suddenness, the sheer suddenness of the move. And I'm like, the way he's saying it, it's kind of in a beat. So if I just put a drum thing in the background and I put it out, like let's see how the people react to it. So I did that. I went off to sleep. Next morning, I'm waking up to so many notifications. I'm like, how within overnight this has gone viral.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Has he ever reached out to you? Has he commented? कुछ बोला है? Of all the people that you've made this kind of content on, has there ever been an artist who's written to you and said, "Man, this is funny"? Like, abhi Badshah ka,
quite a few. Yeah. Badshah has reached out now also, and pehle I made something with his Pagal song something, and he commented, and he actually reposted the whole thing.
Kya baat
back then you couldn't like reshare.
हाँ, वो repost concept था. Correct.
And so many of them have done that.
Tell me one of your favorite memories in this context, कि यार कुछ वीडियो बनाया and unexpectedly उस आर्टिस्ट ने तुम्हें मैसेज किया है या कुछ बताया.
So this was actually last year only when I did Tony and Neha Kakkar version of Kesariya.
Are you kidding me? I was just going to ask you, who replied back to you on that?
Tony himself.
Oh man,
okay,
he's such a good sport also to do that.
He is a great sport. Like I was shocked when he did that. So of course both of them commented, Neha and Tony. And I think a week later I got a call. And he himself was talking on the phone. He's like, क्या बनाया है ये वो. Like I thought क्या कुछ case पे तो नहीं रहा था. But he was like, this is so cool what you made. Let's go collab together.
That's so cool.
Like, are you serious?
That's amazing.
Definitely let's do it.
Hey, you know what? See, you gotta be a sport about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, in a way, the fact that Mayur could take a song like Kesariya and give it such a definitive different sound, which is the Tony Kakkar and Neha Kakkar sound itself shows that they have a unique sound. उनका खुद का एक sound है, उनकी खुद की एक personality है, उनका एक क्या कहते हैं, एक stamp है कि यार ये गाना ना टोनी कक्कर का गाना है, ये गाना नेहा कक्कर का गाना है. And the fact that he could spot that and put it together, and the fact that they responded to you shows that they appreciated that you could see their signature. You know, उनका जो एक गाने का एक autograph रहता है ना, like if you hear an Arijit Singh song, there are these vocal autograph notes, or a Kishore Kumar song, or whoever, you know, everybody who was a phenomenal artist had those things which were identifiably them. And that's what Tony and Neha also have. So kudos
and
to
that's
you,
what, like when I create these things and people ask me about this, like, you just make fun of these people, right? Like some people actually say that like you're insulting them, you know. But I make sure that when I'm making it, it doesn't seem like it's insulting.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
it's not like I try my best that it's not that they won't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
because
they can see the humor in it.
Exactly, and everyone has their own peculiar style.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is just picking up that style.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. I laughed so much. I was laughing my ass off on the Jubin Nautiyal eye to eye video. भाई साहब क्या हंसाया है मुझे. I saw that video and I was laughing out loud. My wife came in from the other room and said क्या हुआ? She's like, man, you got to see this video. It is hilarious because सब लोगों ने, we had all, I can guarantee everybody knows about eye to eye. क्या नाम था उनका? ताहिर शाह.
Tahir Shah.
Everybody had laughed on that, and then you spotted that, and then you put it together, and then you mix. Oh my lord, that was hilarious. Tell me somebody reached out to you about that, gave you some feedback about that.
That one no one has reached out yet because
bhai,
so
Jubin, kuch to karna hai bhai. Jubin, you got to tell him what you thought about it. It was funny. You got to admit it was funny, right? So Jubin Nautiyal, who's been a guest on the show, if this video reaches you, make sure you check out that video and tell him what you thought about that. But
and again, hilarious. I made, like when I was putting actually that was a quick thing. Like I just saw that and I'm like I want to just put it out to see if people realize that. I actually put that on story first. And then I put it as a reel because people were reacting so well.
That's fabulous.
But again, like I said, when people were asking me about this, like, is it insulting or something? But I make sure that, of course, this is Zubin Nautiyal doing his thing and everything, and I'm just like pointing out a similarity. I didn't even say it's copied or anything because it's not. It's not copied.
It's not.
It's just inspired.
It's inspired, and it's. The similarities are striking.
Exactly,
they are like, यार अगर आप एक बार देख लो ना, फिर उसके बाद वो दिमाग से हटेगा ही नहीं. You know, you'll be like.
And plus, if you
हाँ यार ये तो है वैसे ही दिख रहा है.
Plus another thing that Aakh se Aakh Mila, what he did.
Exactly.
That's actually an old line. Like it's not someone commented. Then I realized that's actually an old thing. So maybe Tahir Shah is the one who copied. I don't know.
It's true. But anyhow, so we were in your story. You were talking about the lockdown, big viral hit with Arnab Goswami's thing. From there, you know, your journey has been pretty spectacular. Like, you know, you've been consistently putting out songs and videos which have been getting tons of views, lots of people loving your work, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram. And I want to compliment you and, you know, credit you for the.
Thanks a lot.
बहुत मेहनत लगती है भाई ये करने को. ऐसा आसान नहीं कि उठो और डिसाइड करो कि आज मैं एक वायरल हिट सॉन्ग बनाऊंगा. But भाई अपने कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. He's been doing this for a long time. So show him your love in the comments now. Tell him which of his songs you enjoyed the most. Let us know in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you guys. I know, I'm sure you already tell him on his videos, but यहाँ पे भी बता दो so that I can also see if मैंने कोई miss किया तो मैं भी जाके वो देख लूँगा.
I actually really want to know that which is that one song people remember me by, because recently I think I was talking to someone and they told me कि usually when a creator is like when he's shot up or something, there's always that one video that they remember.
Correct.
In my case, it's like there are multiple videos that have like
people have fallen in love with you at different points of time.
Yeah. So I want to know what is that one thing that you have followed me for.
बता दो भाई, comments में बता दो. You recently released your own. I mean, you've started your own studio and your own company, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
So yeah, I think this was 1 year in the making, and finally I got my studio done in December itself, for which I have to make a vlog very soon. Showing that whole space and everything.
Beautiful.
So of course,
and I'm looking forward to coming and checking your studio out.
You have to be there. It's like I made that space as a modern studio. It's not like a conventional studio. So there are 3 different rooms, one for recording, and mainly there's this one place where I work from, which I want to count as my second home. I've made the vibe like a second home. I wanted to feel like an office space or a studio.
Lovely.
Like that was my main aim over there.
Nice.
And it was my dream in the making. Of course, studio is one part of it. The second part is, so Ox Studios is the studio, and Ox Media is the company that we've started. And it's basically like an audio production house.
Nice.
So like what I've realized is that, of course, virality is not something you can predict, but I kind of through all these years of experiences, I've gained this knowledge ki, you know, what to put on the plate, all the ingredients that kind of make things viral, and then of course see if the audience can make that viral or not.
Nice.
And that's what has attracted a lot of brands and all, everyone to come to me for creating something. Not just brands, like even in songs now, if you see the songs, everyone's building that 30-second part that can go viral.
Which can go viral, जहाँ पे वो hook हो जाता है.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, speaking of brands working with you, I think one of your most successful collaborations right now was with Shark Tank. I mean, was that fun to do, to work with them? It was
a lot of fun. That project was insane. And first of all, so for me it's very difficult because when other people get this call of a collab, they can just leave the house on the way, write the script and then do a collab.
Correct.
For me it's about building a whole song.
Correct.
And usually when such collabs happen, it's always like 2 days before I get a call. Ki 2 din mein ye hai, can you build? And I'm like, I have to make a song in 2 days.
Wow.
And then come over there and record all that.
That's amazing.
So the same thing happened with Jug Jug Jio. I had like 2 days to create a whole song. Shark Tank also the same thing happened. But it was such a fulfilling thing. I was up all night, 2 nights. And before the shoot, I remember like 4 or 5 hours, I just went to sleep. I need to look good at least in the shoot. And like wahan pe also, it was such a great experience because I wasn't sure if these people will be open to you know, recording and lending their voice to the track.
Yeah.
And first of all, everyone gets scared.
Yeah.
When I tell them that you have to rap or sing. And then I have to make them realize, no, you just have to say these words. I'll make sure that I'll twist it in a way where it sounds like you're singing.
Correct.
And every time they've heard their voice back, they're like, holy shit, how did this happen? How am I a singer? And in Shark Tank mainly because Namita had such a huge part in that. The conversations we were having, she was like, I can't believe you made me sing.
That's amazing, man. And they all seemed like such great sports in it too. सब लोगों ने, you know, उसमें dance किया है, गाया है. It's a full-fledged song, guys. It's a beautiful thing. And you again, if you not checked it out, check it out. It's on his Instagram. बहुत ही बढ़िया बना है. Show him all the love that you can for that. And not just that, there are a lot of fabulous. I love how even your brand work seems so organic, seems so beautiful. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like, you know, it's an ad. It feels like ho jata hai, like it fits in with your storytelling and musicianship. It's beautiful.
It's because, so like I said, I used to do these projects for people. So commercially also Shopper Stop ad and all these. Like I've done so many ads before and during those 2-3 years before the lockdown, along with the trailers and everything what I was doing. So I know how the client thing works, and I also have this thing in my mind where I know how to market things. That's the reason we started Ox Media.
Lovely.
Because now I'm kind of working on a company, an audio-based company, audio-first company that is building marketing plans for these brands.
That's awesome. Talk about the recent song that you did with Bionic.
Yeah.
How was that?
It, of course, like it was high time for me to transition into original songs finally.
Right.
And this was just a 1 minute. Like my proper original songs are going to come up very soon.
I brought that up because I knew it would transition into the originals that are coming out. So tell me a little bit about the work with Nick and also tell us about what's coming up next, new songs that are coming.
Yeah, so Dil Bezuba was a very quick track. Like I'm just like vibing to the guitar and then that thing hit, like that melody hit first and then I'm like, you know, let's try it doing a whistle on that.
Nice.
And that kind of became, like everyone is calling it the whistle song, not Dil Bezuba.
Very cool.
And then like I was already in touch with Nick. I spoke to him. I'm like, there's this song, and he's like, "Karte na, bro, karte na." You know how Nick talks.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. Lockdown ke dauran, by the way, speaking of lockdown and doing things during the lockdown, from the 30th of March till the lockdown ended, I did about 250 episodes of the MJ show on Instagram Live. Yeah. Like every night for the first 2 months, Monday to Saturday, I was doing 2 episodes every night, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock and 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Man, I'm telling you, the lockdown turned out to be great for so many artists who decided to do something with it. So Nick was one of my guests during the lockdown and we spoke about his journey. And I love everything that he's doing right now. And I thought he was fabulous with you on the track.
And how he's progressed, like he's the OG YouTube creator and he's still doing so much like relevant stuff. That's insane. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I also know that there is a song, well, you know, यही होता है क्योंकि हम रिकॉर्ड किसी दिन करते हैं और फिर एपिसोड थोड़े दिनों के बाद आता है. तो कल ही एक रिकॉर्डिंग हुई है जो मयूर ने की है, which possibly by the time this episode comes out आपने already देखी है. But for me, it's about finding out right now. So tell me about the latest work that you've just done.
Right. So, of course, I've done a lot of. So my transition was doing the meme mixes and everything. Then I started doing 1 minute music things. My first one was the Jug Jug Jio song, and even Shark Tank was technically like a 1 minute song.
Correct.
And Dil Bezuba was my first original one music, like not made for something, some event or something happening. It was just my own song. And in fact, Dil Bezuba is also something that I'm planning to release the full version of, because it's gotten so many, like the people who've heard it are so in love with it. People are sending me videos of, they've kept it as their ringtone now. The
oh wow, how cool, man.
Yeah, it's insane. And it was of course natural for me to just move into originals, because composition is what I do. And people say that I can sing. Of course, like I'm not a live singer yet, but I'm working on my voice also.
Nice.
So this next song that's coming out, it's called Dhoondta Phira. And like you said, by the time this might be out also, because the song is nearly ready.
Yeah.
So this song is the first time I'm writing the lyrics as well.
Lovely.
So this is one song that has come straight from my heart.
That's awesome, man. That's really good.
Yeah, I remember this was in November, December, when I just shut myself off for 1 week. I didn't post anything, nothing. And I just wanted to focus on what kind of songs that I want to create.
Lovely.
So this is not, if you've seen my page, you know, like all my songs are banging and like hard hitting and like this funny, musty type vibe. This is not that vibe. This is a completely different vibe.
Nice.
And it's the first time I'm properly singing in a track. So I hope you guys like it.
Follow him to know that. Go to his YouTube channel, hit that notification bell as well, and do that for the MJ show as well, so that when we put out new content, when he puts out new content, you get a notification and you check it out for sure. One final thing before we wrap up for today. You made somebody rap recently. Who was that?
Yes. So the person I got to rap is Sunil Shetty.
Kya baat hai?
And once again, like I said, na, when I go to them, ki this is the part, I play the song first in my own voice, and he's like, "Acha hai karte, like what, we can dance or something?" And I'm like, "Nahi sir, aapko is pe rap karna hai." And he's like, "What? Kya?" In fact, actually, I have BTS also. It might be out by the time
this video
you see it. And
out,
his reaction also when he hears, I'm like, "Sir, darna mat." He's like, "Pehle bolte ho darna mat, aur fir bolte ho." Yeah, but he's such a big sport. Like he's so cool. And when he actually did the rap, like he was so good at it.
That's amazing.
Like, आपको डरने की क्या ज़रूरत है? This is perfect, exactly like
he
how it
seems like such a cool guy. Abhi recently, पिछले ही हफ्ते, I hosted the quick style event that happened. The dance crew from Norway, वो अभी मुंबई में आए थे, Phoenix Market City में उनका performance था. I was hosting that, and आप लोगों ने देखा होगा, they did a collab with Sunil Shetty as well, where he's dancing and doing his thing with the quick style guys. I can't believe right now he's done he's done something with quick style. He's got a song where he's rapping with Mayur. अब क्या करने वाले हैं? I want to check more things out by Sunil Shetty. Does he have a movie coming out or something?
He has a show coming out.
Show, yeah. There you go.
So if you think that quick style dance was something, you should really wait for my.
Hey, there you go. It's
crazy.
One-upmanship हो रहा है, देखना पड़ेगा. And when it comes out, please share it with absolutely everybody. This is what I tell all of you every time any guest comes on my show, that the least that you can do to show your love for them when you see something is, भाई देख के सिर्फ हंसो मत, like करो, उस पे comment डालो, उनके अगर चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब करो, एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली शेयर इट विद ऑल योर अदर फ्रेंड्स. अगर आपको अच्छा लगा है, गारंटीड आपके दोस्तों को भी अच्छा लगेगा, तो दुआएं देंगे तुमको, खुश रहेंगे. तो मेक पीपल हैप्पी by sharing the content of your favorite content creators with everybody. I'm going to ask you something which every YouTuber needs to do at the end of the videos. Please tell your fans right now, that's your camera right there,
okay.
Tell them to subscribe to the MJ show as well, man.
Alright guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and if you watched it throughout, what are you doing? Please subscribe. If you haven't seen his recent videos or even the ones he started with, lockdown में इसने इतने सारे videos किए. I became a fan. Like I was watching, I think the first video that I saw was the Amit Trivedi video.
Oh, nice.
And then
50th episode of the MJ show. That was about
almost. And there's so much that I could learn from it. So if you guys, it's a really good channel to subscribe to. You learn so much. You'll have so much fun. please subscribe to this channel.
Thank you guys, and this is a very special season for us because in August this year the MJ show completes 10 years. I used to just call it a talk show. अभी आजकल इसको podcast कहा जाता है, तो मैं हमेशा joke करता हूँ कि I was doing a podcast before the word podcast became a thing in India. So भाई 10 साल होने को आए हैं और हमने एक चीज़ नोटिस की है कि करीबन 90% of the people who are watching the videos are not subscribed to the channel. सोचिए भाई, अगर 90% में से 10% और लोग अगर सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे चैनल को, वी वुड इजीली क्रॉस 100,000 सब्सक्राइबर्स. अभी 10 साल होने को है, अभी तक वी नॉट येट रीच 100,000. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. You can help me change that. Please subscribe to the channel, and it would mean a lot to me and all my guests.
I even have a video because the same thing happens. 90% are not subscribed. So I actually did a video asking people to subscribe, but not in my voice, in some kid's voice.
अरे क्या बात है?
Yeah, you can use it as an outro also. Tanmay but also used it as an outro.
100% इस्तेमाल करेंगे. We'll get that video and you're going to get to see it at the end of today's episode. Another thing I want to tell you guys about, which I'm extremely happy to tell you, 15th March को जिस दिन क्विक स्टाइल का शो हुआ था, उस दिन मेरा बर्थडे भी था. I turned 42 and I just launched my own apparel and merchandise line. We were talking about sneakers a little while ago, and this is one of the pieces from my line. It's on, you can see the collection on mj.mirais.io, जो अभी screen पे आ चुका है through the magic of technology, and is in the description below. Please check it out. Pick up stuff that you like and let your friends who are sneakerheads know about it. Sneakerheads के लिए बनाया मैंने, but it can work for absolutely everybody. So thank you all for all the love and support that you've shown the channel in all these years. Even if you've not subscribed, ठीक है यार, मैं बुरा नहीं मान रहा हूँ, but अब इस बार subscribe कर दो so that we can get to that 100,000 number soon. Most importantly, subscribe to Mayur's channel. It is fabulous. It has given me so much joy. देखो ना, मैं पूरे एपिसोड में मैं मुस्कुरा रहा हूँ because he genuinely has made me and so many of you very, very happy. So subscribe to his channel and make sure you follow him on Instagram as well. He's got a new original song, a full-length song coming out. Watch out for that, and watch out. He's made Sunil Shetty rap. He's probably made him dance. That's going to be amazing. शायद already release हो चुका है. अगर release हो चुका है तो यहाँ पे comments में बताओ आपको कितना अच्छा लगा. But you know what? That's pretty much all the time we have for today. Mayur,
Right.
Thank you, brother, for coming here today. I had so much fun chatting with you. I want to wish you all the best for your future projects, for your original music, for more entertaining, funny content that makes me and people like me smile and laugh. So, keep at it, man. You're doing an amazing job.
And thank you so much for calling me here. It was my pleasure to be here and talk about so many things.
Hey.
And seriously, like, this show is pretty cool.
Thank you so much, man. And that's pretty much all the time we have for now. That's Mayur Jumani. I'm Mihir Joshi. Hey, दोनों MJ अभी realize किया यार.
The MJ show.
Shit, the MJ show. Exactly. This is the MJ Square show. Mayur Jumani, Mihir Joshi, the MJ Square, MJ show, MJ Square show आज का बस अभी खत्म होने वाला है. In 3, 2, 1.
Whatever. Okay, thank you.